dark night.
There was a dark, dark house.
We kind of crossed wires on a galaxy in between space and Earth, and we pretty much met on a lightsaber scooping along, and that's how we came together. Really, it was like stars stuck together with super glue.
Fate.
Yeah.
Anything for you, my dear.
We're the Courtesans, and I'm Agnes and I play bass.
I'm Vicky Brown and I play drums.
I'm Sinead Bella, I'm the vocalist.
I'm Saffire Sanchez and I play guitar. I think it's all dependent on the consumption, what level of consumption per person.
Yeah. Saff is the kind of, I think it's the most explosive and kind of...
Definitely our bass.
Psychotic element to the whole band. And you probably, if we're gonna go for a drink together afterwards, you understand what I'm talking about. All the controversial, probably they are pointing at me. As I'm the most comfortable with my sexuality and probably the nudity. I don't know. You're all quite comfortable, but I'm probably the most of a flasher, I think.
Yes, Agnes Jones is very known in High Barnet to be the Barnet flasher.
Yes.
This is actually a true story. But
walking
you're
dogs
beautiful,
in a bikini.
so why not? You
Why
came
not?
into this world naked.
Yep, and that's how it should be, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we dress the way we want to dress because that's how we want to dress, and we like it. We make a lot of our costumes together as a band, so for us it's just a part of the experience of being together and creating what we're doing. So it's about creation, not just like music.
I'm sure we're gonna get that. You know, you're trying to sell your music by sexualizing yourself and kind of not having any clothes is bullshit, because we actually, our point, and I think our goal is to desexualize the nudity. It's how mental is the fact that we are born naked, we are brought to that world naked, and that is something that is inappropriate. Do you know, your own body which you live with every fucking day, it's inappropriate. Nipples, whatever, it's all sexualized, but in a kind of weird way. Do you know what I mean? It's all kind of, ooh, it's a nipple, but then you're getting gangs and kind of violence, which seems to be more acceptable than nudity. And in regard to that, I think we want to make a stand that nudity shouldn't be something inappropriate, and it shouldn't be to the point. Should be desexualized in a way. So if the woman is naked, it shouldn't be straight away perceived. I don't know, she's up for a fucking shag or whatever. If you know what I mean, nudity should be something that is completely natural and it's completely normal.
Yeah, it's normal. With Britain, we're more of a conservative country, so
fucking not as much as Poland.
Well, Holland as well, yeah. And I think that's why people get shocked by bands like ourselves, because it's not PC. It's not the PC way to be.
But you're getting accused of being basically just trying to sell your music by showing your tits.
Yeah,
but there
that's
is
straight away that association.
I think it's something we've discussed heavily between ourselves.
Oh, yes.
What is acceptable when people say you are contrived, extremely contrived, and that it is quite true. We just don't. We are free to an extent. Of course, we want to promote ourselves, but it's not someone telling us you should be like this. You have to do this. And you have to do that.
Yeah, put that short skirt on because that's gonna sell better.
This is our choice, not anybody else's, and that's the point.
Ultimately, it's about being yourself, and I think that's what we stand for as well. We're humanists. A lot of people get us very confused thinking we're feminists, and actually we're humanists because we believe in equality throughout. So it's not, feminism, people say, oh, it's the same as feminists, but actually when we've spoken to some of our male friends who do believe in all the traits of feminism and what they stand for, which is great, they say, for me, I feel uncomfortable saying I'm a feminist because I feel like it's just for women. So
exactly,
humanist
that's a
sexist
expression in itself.
Yeah, exactly. So
feminist,
the word humanist for us is more of a rounded shape, and it's more for everybody. And ultimately, that's what we stand for.
Let's be honest, we are kids of the media in the recent age, and we follow what's going on in the media and how many attacks we've seen on the certain performers or whatever actors, well, because they dressed in bit too provocatively or whatever. Do you know what I mean? We witness all that, so kind of ultimately, subconsciously, you're getting ready for a fight.
And also, you can't expect as a person or even as a band to put something out there like what we're doing and not expect to get some kind of negative feedback. It's just whether you're willing to stand for what you are and what you're doing. Yeah. So, and we are. So, bring it on. Yeah, it's quite complex because we don't always write music together, all four of us. It may be one of us that writes a song. It may be two of us that comes up together. You know, me and Agnes have wrote together a few times, and Saffire as well writes a lot of music.
It's a lot of randomness.
It's a lot of randomness because once we've written something, we may come together as a band and go over it together, and we may change bits and words. But when it comes to writing music, you know, we're not precious about, you know, only having our own. If somebody brings something to the table and we enjoy it, then we're not afraid to take on the challenge of taking on somebody else's story as well, you know, and adapting it into our own.
That was the case with our you know, upcoming album.
It's very mixed.
It's very mixed. It's quite a few of our tracks which we wrote. Then also we have a good friend of ours, Tracy, who is a writer, songwriter, and she's extremely, I would say, emotional and very, very sensual person. And she had a really good songs which she doesn't perform herself, but she writes the song, and we thought, well, those songs are really good, you know, and we should just bring them on, you know, to the whole album. Yeah. So there is quite a few songs of her as well.
We've worked very closely. I've worked very closely with Tracy. So you know, if there's a song that we have taken on, we kind of work it out, you know, emotionally together and vocally as well. And she's actually been quite an inspiration for me throughout this process as a mentor. You know, she's kind of been guiding me. So she's kind of been like a bit like a kind of mother figure to me, really. So I'm a bit of a baby. So, but you know, she's been, you know, helped guiding me, and we've gone through things. And she said to me, you know, how does this really make you feel? I'm not going to tell you how it is for me. How is it for you? So she's helped me explore, you know, my emotions even more through the songs. So it's for me, they're all quite personal as well. Even if it's not necessarily written by myself, if it was written by Saffire, if it was written by Vicky or Agnes or even Tracy, you know, it's about making it personal and really feeling the song. But writing for us, it's all over the place. I mean, yeah, basically. Yes.
I think a lot of it's based on emotion. Yeah. And we could write things that sound lyrically, that sounds cool, might not mean anything to us at that moment, and then we're like, all right, let's make it something. You know, there is a craft to writing music. A lot of people are very passionate about music, and they can, you know, they just seem to have a gift and they can churn it out. And we just go really by emotion, and that seems to drive us. It really does. Yeah. It really, really does.
It's funny thing regarding the song "Dirty Killer," which actually majority was written by you. Yeah. And funnily enough, it actually, that song is the most personal for me, because I have.
I actually, when I wrote it, I was writing about Agnes. Because when we first came together as a band, you know, me and Agnes spent a lot of time together, and we were very, very close, and we talked a lot about our personal experiences in the, you know, life, growing up as teenagers and things. And I felt very connected to a certain story that Agnes has told me, that's very personal. And as we were writing Dirty Killer, I kind of just went bang and just went off on one, and
I was writing random lyrics.
I was reliving what she told me, and I took it, what she told me. I took in quite emotionally, and I took it to heart. And I think as I was writing, I was feeling her experiences, and I just couldn't stop. And when I started to actually sing the lyrics to Agnes, it was a really emotional experience actually that day.
Yeah.
Because I said, this is about you. I think for me, I really love Scream.
Yeah, me too.
Don't know, it's just the power of the song and the beat, it's just so intense
really
and sexual and heavy and painful. It's kind of like it's like a stair song, so it's a stairway song, it's going up and up and up like a ladder. So
Kind of builds up, doesn't it?
yeah, I mean it just builds up, and at the end it just kind of crashes into a massive explosion.
My favourite song is our last song in the set, I think, which is Liberate. And it's for the musical reasons and for the lyrical and personal reasons. It has a heavy drum and bass influences, which is obviously one of my influences as regarding music. But it's the lyrically as well, Liberate. And I'm not going to go into details, but I had a very dark period in my life. Which I kind of got over, and therefore that kind of liberate is very personal to me. And you'll hear the lyrics, you'll probably know and feel what I'm talking about. So yeah, for me, liberate.
I'm a great fan. I'm eclectic. I think it's everybody. I mean, we're all quite eclectic.
Yeah.
But I think I'd have to go Deftones. Generally, it's a hypnotic, sensual sound. Because I think the bass really drives it. It kind of turns your stomach up a little bit. Maybe
We're very influenced.
Maybe that's why, I don't know, it's a bit more
Deftones
sexual because you get the same feeling from that bass. I don't know. But yeah, that's probably one of my biggest influences, and I love them. Yeah.
World domination!
I think something happened to us at when was it, the Hammersmith gig. A couple come up to us. I think it's something that it was, how do I say it?
Uplifting.
You know when something's beneath the surface and then...
Underlying.
Yeah, underlying, I suppose, the desire really, is that when people turn up to your gig and you want them to feel something, and they did. They did. Who was it? Which friend was it?
It was actually somebody I know.
Yeah,
and I don't know what to
say it in kind of PC way.
Yeah, so basically, they contacted me after and just said, we've had a few problems in the last year, but after seeing your gig tonight, everything seems to be working out fine. So, yeah,
that
it certainly depends, No, never look back, look forward always. Yeah, live for the day and just be positive. There's no point in dwelling on the negatives in life and wishing that you could have done this or that, because you only live once. So just look forward and
you can't change it. So,
so you're asking actually in the point in my life when I realized the whole events from my past actually led me to that point where I am now, and I'm really happy now. I'm really happy with them girls.
Oh, I love you!
And for all that shit, all that shit I went through.
Love you.
And I met those, and we're doing something really good. It makes me happy, and therefore I wouldn't really swap the fucking thing.
Neither.
No, me too.
No.
I'm happy.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
you got
We're
all
getting a
kinds
bit
of medals.
She's gonna cry now.
Album will actually be out on the 17th of September.
Yeah. It's
So
supposed to be on the 8th, but I think we're discussing certain things, and it may be postponed 2 weeks, but it's going to be September nonetheless. It's going to be definitely later than that.
So yeah, I mean, if you go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/the Courtesans, we've got a website, www.thecourtesans.org, O-R-G, just in case there's any dyslexic people out there,
Dyslexic.
so I understand. Yeah, so we'll update everything on our website and on our Facebook pages, on our Twitter and things. just stay tuned. It will be in September. We're looking forward to it. We can't wait.
And
just
the
want it
single.
finally out there.
Oh,
And
single.
Yeah, we've got yeah.
Genius. Release date 25th, is it? 25th
of August. Yeah.
Yep.
What you can expect from the album, I think you've got quite a wide range. You have a bit of drum and bass, which is really very favourite track.
A lot of trip hop.
Yeah,
a bit of trip hoppy vibe there, and a lot of electronic influences, which you can hear. Apart from the live, obviously guitars, bass, and drums, and you're gonna hear an awful. So what you can expect is a big wall of sound.
Yeah, basically. It's quite
and
grungy.
a few chilled out tracks with a bit of a cheeky twist to it, like Swallow, which you can interpret as you wish to, as the title says. So yeah, it's going to be a few slower tracks. Generally, the album is kind of a bit more down tempo. I would say mid tempo. There's nothing really mental there, tempo wise.
It's quite grungy, quite almost doomy in a way.
Doomy.
We're not doom metal.
We were trying to describe that. What we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just difficult to describe, really. Everybody says that as well, and it's always the question you get asked, like, "Oh, what's your style?" And you're like, "Oh, I sound like this and it." But I don't know. I mean,
it's doomy. It's doomy. Whether you want to call it pop or rock or whatever, probably more or less most of the things are pop now. Popular culture. It's pop, but it has a doomy slant to it. So the melodies are dark, and it's a lot of darkness. In everything you will hear there, it's a lot of darkness.